Hello, hello. Welcome to the Melon Live Show. We're back again for another week. Man, it's been a great week. I'm excited. It's been great working with Melon. Of course, we've been working on a lot of updates, a lot of cool new stuff. We had portrait mode come out last week, which has been great. The community's really been loving portrait mode as far as like TikTok creation, not just live streaming, but also recording clips, making content. To me, it's that very simple, easy way to kind of create a bunch of clips. So I'm excited to see what the community is going to do with it and how everybody's using it. If you haven't, try Melon. It's free to sign up, tell a friend. It's been a lot of great reviews so far about everything that we're doing. Just helping people create better content, live stream, reach more people, get their message out to a bigger audience. So last week, we talked about podcasting and using Melon. Using it is a great way to kind of combine it. You could live stream your podcast. You could take the clips. You could use those for social media. And then you also could broadcast to your favorite social networks. So it's a win-win podcasting with Melon. Last week, I got a couple questions about how do you find guests and how do you keep bringing people in for interviews to keep the content great. So that's what we're going to go over today. We're going to talk about how to find the right guests, the benefits of getting guests, tips, to make sure the stream goes smooth, things to look out for, and how to avoid bad experiences. Let's see. Yes, portrait mode has been great. I'm really, really excited about it. I think it's going to be great, especially just because everything's moving towards like mobile content. I feel like that we're getting so used to having that format, that 9:16. So being able to create content like that in an instant just by clicking, it's going to be great. And I'll go over after we go through the lesson. I'll show you how to set it up and how to actually stream on Instagram. We'll go over that. So that way you could stream on Instagram. You could use the same concept to stream on whatever platform that you're really looking for in that format. So for finding guests, why do you want a guest on your podcast? For me, it helps keep content spicy. It keeps different perspectives. It adds another opinion. And it's also great for growing because hopefully you would want somebody that's aligned with your brand. It's something we'll talk about, but they're going to have an audience that you're not exposed to. So you interviewing that person opens you up to garner, more audience, more viewers, which can help grow your following. If they see what they like, and they see consistent content coming from someone new that they didn't know they were into. So that's why having a guest is a great thing. It just all around just keeps everything flowing, keeps entertainment. And most shows live off guests because instead of having to come up with ideas and topics all by yourself, which could be daunting sometimes, it could seem like a lot. Having a guest to kind of bounce ideas off of makes things so much easier, and you're more of just kind of directing and controlling the conversation. So how do you find guests? It's a bunch of different ways. You can use LinkedIn, of course, word of mouth, your social circle, asking for referrals. But the main thing is you want to find people who align with your brand. If you're a sports, you're live streaming about sports, you want to make sure that you have somebody that's knowledgeable in that, or it's a field that's kind of related that you could kind of share a similar audience. So that would be the main thing of just keeping everything related to your brand, understanding who your target audience is, and then how do you relate that guest relates to that. That's the main things you want to keep in mind, just because you don't want it to be, unless that's what kind of show you want to make, but you don't want to have big arguments with somebody on a show, or, you want to keep everything on brand, stuff that viewers will make sure they enjoy. So just make sure that when you're thinking about all of these things, that you think about your brand, what message do you want to represent, and what does your audience want to see? Another great way, you'll hear like people like Gary Vee, you'll hear a lot of marketers talk about, but adding value. So if it's somebody that you want to get on your show, I would be on their social media. I would look at any post, I would comment, I would engage, I would create conversations. So that way, when you direct message them, to me, it's not such a cold message. people remember people who create conversations. So I feel like if you're starting that conversation and you're engaged with this person, you're not a stranger anymore. So that will help kind of ease up when you're going to ask people on your show. The Educated Natural. Hi, Melon and all. Hello, welcome. Where are you from? Please let me know. And if you have any questions about Melon, let me know. I'll do my best to answer. Okay. So talking to referrals, talking to people for referrals is a great way, especially at the end of podcasts. I've seen, and it's not putting people on the spot in a way, but a lot of times at the end of podcasts, what people do is like, is it anyone that you would refer? And they do it on the show. So that way it's kind of, you could use that clip to kind of entice the next person. So that's a cool way I've seen people do it. And then once you find out who you want to get on there, make sure that you educate them who you are and what your goal is. Kind of give them a idea of what the show is going to be about and what their goals are with it, because some people are going to want to promote their product. They're going to want to promote their live stream. And so you just want to make sure that you're all aligned. Everybody's on the same page with doing the stream. I am 607. Hello, welcome. Please let me know if you got any Melon questions. We're here to answer them, here to talk about some new features, here to talk about getting guests on your live streams or your podcast, and how to just prep them, how to make sure you got a great show. And then, okay, another great thing to add value, and last week I was talking about during the podcast, is more people want to be on podcasts and live streams than you think. Just because people need content. This is a very content-driven world now. So people always want to look for stuff that they could post, because I'm managing 3 social media accounts right now. And it could be trying to think of new ideas. Sometimes it's a little tricky. And so if you're doing one long form piece of content, like I'm doing now, like a stream, and then you're taking those and you're cutting it up, it makes the whole process a lot easier. So most influencers or most people are looking for this kind of content, right? So if you could come with engaging questions, great looking content, people will really accept being on the show. So something to keep in mind, make sure that you let them know what they're going to get, what's in it for them. See, I went live with the Melon the other day. I hit the full screen button, but I wasn't totally full screen. Was there something, another button I missed? So at the bottom, they have different profiles that you could choose. So it kind of adjusts the actual screen size. I would do it, but I want to make sure I keep it just so I could crop. Here, I do it real quick. But as you can see, I can switch between. So I would check there first. It should be right underneath your actual broadcast once you're live, and that should fix your problem. And if not, just let us know and we'll take a look at it. And when you have a guest on, don't be afraid to ask them for feedback. Get different, perspectives, and it'll help you grow your actual live stream. And the benefits, like I was saying, diversity to your content, a bigger audience, bigger engagement. And then guests can bring topics that you normally wouldn't talk about. Like, for example, with live streaming, it's so many people in the community that's great at like YouTube creation, right? And using Melon to create content for that purpose. It would be a great way to interview that, because it's not a topic that I know, but it's not something that I'm as detailed as someone else from the community could really understand. Excuse me. So that's what I would try to focus on. Bring diversity, get different eyes, different opinions, and then the different ways that you could actually do it. So it's interviews. You see a lot of people do interviews, which is very common. Case studies, if you're doing a business, showing like success. People love a story. As far as content, that's something I've really been working on lately, is what is the story in something? How do I convey the story better? Because I feel like now, especially with content, like pictures, they work, right? They're good for reminding people, but video and the story is what conveys. When you see TikToks or Reels or Shorts that's going super viral, a lot of times it's the story that you like behind it, right? So trying to convey that story with your product is using case studies is great. Testimonials, super great if you're doing anything product related, or even if service related, like having people stream and tell about their experience using whatever it is that you provide. Great use of having a guest on your stream. And Melon makes it easy to me because you could practice your live stream before actually going in there. How we have meetings is like we provide a link and then we'll just go in Melon. We don't actually go live, but everybody joins in. So that's a good way that you can rehearse. You can get the flow of everything. You can make sure that the audio is clear. And that way you can kind of go over everything and they understand how it is. So it's not when you're just going to do this live stream or podcast that they're blindsided and they have no idea what to do. So it's a great way. To me, I always try to prep with a guest, let them get familiar with the process. So it's an easy transfer. Let's see. I see other influencers being affiliate for other products, but I don't see anyone for Melon. Does Melon have an affiliate program other than the 20% off deal when you sign up? I know on the main page, we have a referral where I know you could get from cash to merch to like different cups and stuff like that. I know that that's on the main page. As far as anything else, I would have to check. I'm not sure of that, but I'll ask and make sure. But I know that referral because I see a lot of people in the community using that, referring different people for Melon, especially lately. We've been getting a big influx. I think people are really seeing the features and the updates, and they're starting to really, they're understanding what Melon is bringing. So we're getting a lot of new people and a lot of coming from referrals. So I'll look into that more for you, though. So, sorry, lost my train of thought. My fish tanks aquatics. Hello, Melon fam. Hello, how are you today? Where are you from? Please let me know in the chat where you guys are from. What kind of content do you make? Because that's what we're here for. We're here to try to be better content creators, better live streamers, use Melon to kind of get our message out there. So I would love to know what you guys do, where you're at, and how do you use Melon? So when you're prepping for a guest, you can get in Melon. We can practice. You can make sure the audio levels are right. You can kind of give them a gist. You can of what's going on, like an outline of like topics, key points, things that you want to like avoid. Like some people are strictly against cursing, right? So if that's something you want to let that person know. I've had experiences where someone didn't let that person know and it went a little left. So you make sure all the things that you want to have in your show, that you make sure you broadcast that to your guests. And remember that it aligns with your brand. So you got to make sure that this is your content. This is going to visualize what you are as a brand. So make sure that everything aligns. You have the final say so. You could say no to certain stuff. You can adjust stuff. So just be aware of those going into it, so you can make sure that the content comes out how you want. Involve the audience to make sure they feel involved. Audience is great for not only content, coming up with ideas. It's great for referrals, for find new people. You can ask people, who else is in this niche that I should interview? There's a great person, to talk to, because a lot of times the audience will know better than you will, because they're actually looking for this content. So a lot of times some of the best interviews have came from, hey, do you know this person? Could you reach out to them? So make sure always involve the community. Make sure that you always involve your audience, because that's where you're going to get the gems, to me, the ones that really translate. Let's see, Woodstock, Illinois. Using Melon for live streams and occasionally videos related to aquariums. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's pretty cool. Watching from NYC area. Welcome to the Melon Show. Little Rock, Arkansas. I do live deep dives to support my video essays on music and entertainment. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. See, it's so cool. I love how with content, it could be so many variations. of people using the same tool, but it's so many variations and different people using it in different aspects. So I always learn so much when I see how people are using it. So it's always cool seeing that. Okay, so when you have guests, you want to make sure you get out there, make sure you're tagging them on socials, trying to make the best out of each piece of content, right? You've worked hard to get this piece of content. You're working hard to interview this person or tell their story. So make sure local recording with Melon is great. You can download everything. Everything is recorded. It's easy to get to. With local recording, files are separated. It's easy to adjust the audio. It's easy to adjust the video if you want to. So you have so much flexibility. So take those, tag the person, put it out there as much as you can. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, show your content, because you're working hard on it, and it's going to look great. Because with Melon, it's easy to set it up, so it's going to look great. So the only thing you have to do is show up and then give it to the people. I would be involved in Facebook groups, Reddit, anywhere there's a conversation. I would try to be in those groups, so that way you can find more people again to interview, more guests, and also great topics. To me, Reddit is a great place for new topics, especially with social media. If I'm ever stuck trying to find something to talk about on social, Reddit, Quora, anywhere where I can go there and I'll research and see what people are talking about and then try to get content ideas from that. Wow, I'm catching the show live. Welcome to the show. Please let me know if you have questions. That's what I'm here for. Try to give some tips and talk about all the cool new stuff that we've been working on at Melon. So make sure that pre-show that you have a meeting, get everything together, you're adjusted. Make sure you have a clear understanding what the audience needs. Don't be afraid to ask questions to your guests. Make sure you thank the guests because they're taking time out. You want to make sure that they're appreciated and you build that relationship with them from there. And then make sure that the guest understands who your audience is. And then you also should just make sure you check the tech. So the microphones, the cameras, just make sure everything is going smooth. I have a habit because on this mic, it's a button on here. So sometimes I'll adjust it and mute it by accident. I did that earlier today. I learned my lesson from one stream where I accidentally hit the button. So now I make sure before I hit go live, I check this button to make sure every time that I'm unmuted on here. So the tech checks happen, mistakes, people hit buttons happen all the time, stuff gets unhooked. So make sure you're just checking behind yourself to keep everything smooth. See, all my guests love how easy it is to enter the studio on Melon during my shows. That's one thing I love about Melon. It makes it super easy, especially for a guest. You don't have to sign up for anything. You can just go straight in. And even sign up, I believe it's 5 clicks to sign up to go live. So to me, it's hard to beat. 5 clicks is great. See, in the process of starting a weekly live chat about online community management. Oh, I need to listen to that, please. I am working on trying to grow the community and just learning Melon and learning the community. So I'm always open for community management, learning some new stuff. So very interesting. Each week we'll be bringing a collection of people working in the community industry to hang out, discuss things about community management, a little social media. Please let me know. I'll definitely check it out. Do you think Melon and live stream platforms like it will get better at sharing streams like video and gaming? I think so. And again, I'm not a developer. I'm more on the social and marketing aspect. So I'm saying this loosely, okay? And I could double check. But I think it's more about limitations on like the browser side than it is what we could do. But I may be incorrect, right? But I believe a lot of times, sometimes it's not just us that we just haven't developed, but it's working with the other side and trying to figure out ways to get around it. But of course, I always think it's going to be progression. It's going to be huge jumps. If you look at where Melon was 6 months ago to now, it's so many features and improvements. And as soon as certain stuff changes, I'm sure we're always going to be working towards it. Uh, with new features, I'm telling you, Melon, they're on it. It's like, as soon as we roll one out, it's another one. You messaged on Facebook? Okay, will do. So I'll check your message and respond right after I get off the stream. Let me know. And if y'all ever need help, make sure you write us in the community. It's not only am I in there every day, but it's a lot of really smart people in there that's using Melon in very creative ways and doing video and live streaming in very creative ways. So it's always good. I learn a lot from just being in the community, just watching, reading posts, and then seeing how people are setting stuff up. I'm learning about new destinations and social networks that I had no idea even existed, but have such great audiences that you could connect to. So join the Facebook community. It's great learning, great fun. Meet with other live streamers. Again, find people that you want to have as a guest on your show. You could possibly meet some other live streamers in there who kind of align with what you got going on. So the Melon Facebook community is a great place to be. So make sure that you're there. And that's, I mean, for as far as guests, that's pretty much the overall. Just make sure, I'm gonna recap, make sure that everybody's on the same page. Practice in Melon. You could do a warm up. You could send them a link, go in there before you actually do the show. Make sure the mics are clear. Make sure your audio is sounding great. Your video is looking good. Any adjustments with framing. Because sometimes if a guest is like doing a live stream, they're using their basic web camera or they're using bad lighting. So, doing this before, you can help them adjust, move around. Maybe this is too bright. There's too much light coming in. Can we adjust over here? So all of those help, and it will get you to a better place. Be aware of time constraints for your guests. Respect their time. I'm sure they got a lot going on as well as you do. So try to keep it within that time frame or whatever it is, unless they're cool with it. Sometimes the conversation is really good and you want to keep it going. So if it's cool with them, make sure, but just be aware. Follow up with the guests afterwards. Thank them. Make sure that they know, you appreciate them creating content with you. And just remember to say that you could say no at any point in the process. It's your content, it's your stream. So if something doesn't align to whatever you're going on, you don't have to do that. With guests, you got to be careful because sometimes their opinions could be attached to yours. So you want to make sure that everybody's aligned, everybody fits, and it's good synergy going on with your guests. And so I see a couple questions in the stream. I'm going to answer those. And if anybody else has any more questions, let me know. I'm going to answer these questions. And then I'm going to talk about going live on Instagram with portrait mode, which is great. I'm excited to use it this weekend. That's my plans for this weekend, to make some content. I'm going to use portrait mode, sit down, record some content. Because I think, to me, just talking and looking at the camera would be a lot easier than me trying to script out as like TikTok, and do it in the TikTok editor. To me, it's easier just to have the clip and then to bring it in something like a Final Cut and then just cut it up that way. So this makes it so easy because it's already formatted the way I want. I can already visualize it the way I want, and then I could take it and go there. So I have another question. I do 4 live streams a week. Wow. And often my guests join, their camera or mic doesn't connect. Can you give me any tips to fix that issue? Could you please email us at support@melon.com? I have somebody take a look because that shouldn't be the case. Offhand, I'm not sure, but what I'll do is I'll make sure somebody takes a look because that shouldn't be the case. And then we can resolve any issues. Support is really good about helping with stuff like that. Yeah, if you could send an email, support@melonapp.com. Let us know your browser and what computer you're using. Because a lot of times, sometimes it could be something weird like an ad block. I'm just making something up for this. I'm not sure what it could be, but support will take a look and they'll give you a further deep dive with that. So let me turn on screen share. Here we go. So a lot of people always ask about streaming to Instagram. To me, now with portrait mode, it's perfect because before, without portrait mode, if anything, anytime you're trying to stream without portrait mode, you're in the wider view. and you're not getting the correct, you're not seeing it how other people are seeing it. So sometimes stuff gets cut off. And it's hard to, always be mentally trying to make sure that it's here. So in portrait mode, it makes it super easy. You're always in that 9:16 view. If you want to stream to Instagram, if you want to stream to Facebook in that 9:16 mobile view, this makes it super easy. You could do that with custom RTMP. I don't know why that's hard for me to say, RTMP. I always feel like I have to overthink it when I'm saying that. But with this, you could take your stream key in your code, and then you could input that here. So you could add a custom RTMP. You could add the destination here. And that's how you could push to Instagram. I believe we're using another third party in between. I believe it's InstaFeedMe. But we have the details for all of that here. So if you want to know how to set that up, if you want to start streaming to Instagram, which to me, I'm so glad that it's a lot easier, because in the past I've had issues with this, because Instagram is a great place, but as far as streaming from a high quality camera or streaming from the computer, they make it so difficult at times. So this makes it so easy. And I know a lot of people have a good following on Instagram. So this is a great way that you could reach that following. Again, multi-stream to other platforms while you're doing this. So it's not like you have to just stream to Instagram. You could stream to multiple platforms in this format, and it's super easy to turn on. I'll scroll up. Sorry if I'm scrolling a little fast. I'm just trying to find the button so I can show you guys right here. So under the main studio, it's going to be a little phone icon right here. And once you click that, it's going to switch it to this 9:16. Again, content is for TikTok, Reels, Short, which is to me the priority. I don't know if you guys just saw Instagram updated and everything is Reels now. So they took away IGTV. So basically the main feed is considered Reels. There's no other video type for Instagram. So everybody's going to that full screen 9:16 format. So this is a great way that you could be ahead of the curve, make a bunch of content super easy, and it's already ready for that, where you could just cut it up for your convenience. Melon has been great. I actually did a live stream from my phone in my pool yesterday. Oh, that's cool. With my guests on the panel, really easily switched my live stream to my laptop when I got out the pool. That's living. That's living right there. I'm trying to live stream from my pool. That sounds amazing, especially how hot it is this summer. See, is there a way to make comments that pop up on the screen during a live stream? Move the content up when the message is showing on the screen rather than covering up the host. That I don't think so at the time. I'm not sure if Veronica's in here. She might could give you a better answer for that, but I don't think so at the time. But what I will do is I always screenshot these feature requests, because again, one thing I love about Melon and the company since I've been here is that always innovating, always updating. So if anybody's making feedback and suggestions, we're sitting back like, okay, cool, let's try to tackle this. Let's try to tackle this. How can we make the experience better for our users? So I'm going to add that to the list. I'm going to see what the team says. And if it's not a way to do that, I'll submit the feature request. And I appreciate you even suggesting that, because that's a great idea. But I don't think so currently. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, please let me know if it's any other questions. You guys have any big plans for the weekend? For me, I'm excited to try to make some content. Since I've been managing more social media, I have a better grasp on like creating content, I feel like, and just being a little more organized. So I'm excited to actually try to use portrait mode for myself, try to make some content, cut up some clips, and make some cool stuff. So that's my plan for the weekend. So I hope everybody else's weekend involves some great content making, great streaming, and good fun, just enjoying your family and whatever you have going on. If you guys don't have any other questions, I'm going to get off of here, let you guys enjoy your Friday. But if you do, feel free to ask. I'm here for you. Please try portrait mode. And the cool thing, I forgot that a lot of people don't know this about portrait mode. Well, I haven't seen as many people talk about it lately, but you can, just like how we have the multiple cameras and the 12 participant support, it still works in the 9x16. So when we were testing everything, it was so cool seeing, being able to screen share, having, I want to say maybe 8 people in the stream. So it's cool being able to have that much flexibility in that mobile view. What some people like to call it a portrait mode. It's great to have that flexibility with everything. So try it out. Invite a bunch of people, stream on Instagram. Super easy to set up. And a great way to, again, reach all of your audience, because we're building up all these social networks. We're building up Twitter. We're building up Facebook. We're building up LinkedIn. But the point is to try to reach all these people as much as you can. And Melon makes that super easy. So make sure when you do, set up all your places, share your content, get your message out there to the world, because people want to hear what you got to say. It's a tribe out there for everybody that's interested in what you got going on. So make sure you share that. I'll be back next week. I'm not sure exactly what I'm talking about. I've been trying to figure that out earlier. So I'll make sure I schedule that probably by Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm gonna try to find some good topics. Lately, the topics have been coming from the community. So whatever you guys have been suggesting or writing in the Facebook community, that's what I've been going for. So if you have any suggestions, make sure you contact us in the Facebook community. If not, I will see you guys next week. Try Melon, try portrait mode, try 12 participants, try multiple cameras. It's all really fun. So have a good week. Enjoy your time. I will see you next week. We'll have more tips, more fun. Thank you.